It is a beautiful crowd in Kansas City today. Good morning, everyone. What an amazing time to be here in Kansas City as we celebrate World Cup 2026, KC 2026, and as you can see in our beautiful design, we are Kansas City. Let's give a round of applause for everyone who's a part. Today, we are another step closer to achieving a milestone toward hosting the FIFA World Cup in 2026. Our team effort to bring the World Cup to Kansas City has culminated in our success today as we prepare to be one of few American cities selected to host the largest sporting event in the world. Kansas City, already thanks to many of you, has earned recognition as the soccer capital of America, with a growing collection of world-class venues in Missouri and Kansas, championship-winning teams with a rich history of hosting international competitions, and of course, outstanding investment from the people of Kansas City, the state of Missouri, the state of Kansas, and our entire region. Over the last 15 years, Kansas City has invested more than $600 million in championship-level soccer facilities, with our good friends, the Kansas City Current, set to open a new Riverfront Stadium in 2024. Kansas City truly is a sports city, and we are thrilled to unveil our World Cup brand throughout our city. We have come a long way, and I look forward to the excitement ahead as we continue to make Kansas City an international destination for sports, for culture, for business, and for everyone to get to know our outstanding and, Governor, amazing brand in this part of the country. The World Cup will bring jobs to our residents, will generate hundreds of millions of dollars for our region, and will illustrate on a global scale what we have known for some time. Not just that Kansas City is the soccer capital of America, but Kansas City is the sports, cultural, business heart of America. We're proud to be an international city, and we're proud to welcome all. And I'll speak just a little bit of Spanish to prove it, because FIFA always asks me to do so. Es por eso que hoy me orgulloso anunciar la Comisión de Alcaldes para Nuevos Americanos, para garantizar que todos tengan un papel en nuestra comunidad y la Copa Mundial. Haremos que la ciudad emita una solicitud de propuestas para el transporte público desde el centro hasta el aeropuerto. In other words, what we're also announcing, thank you, yeah, I know. A few people got that. What we also are announcing today are two things at the city that we're doing to support. We're establishing a Mayor's Commission for New Americans to make sure that new American communities that are part of our city are not just part of the World Cup, but part of business, commercial, and cultural opportunities each and every day. And another step that we are doing is making sure today that we're issuing an RFP to help support public transportation between the center of our city to the Kansas City International Airport. In Espanol or in English, we are ready for an exciting time coming ahead with the World Cup. We thank so many of you in connection with all that we'll be doing over the years ahead, and we know we have a lot of work to do ahead. With that, I say thank you so much. You have some outstanding speakers, but let's go and be ready for 2026 here in Kansas City. Thank you.
Mayor Lucas, muchas gracias. A few years ago, when we began the bid process for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Kansas City was an underdog. Of course, we now know that 11 American cities were picked to host. But when we started the process, there were 28 cities bigger than Kansas City who were putting bids together, and 20 of those were in the United States. But as we all know, this is a city that finds ways to get things done. Hosting the FIFA World Cup is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for our city, our community, and our region. For fans, this will be a chance to not only attend one of the largest sporting events in the world, but to welcome visitors from all over the country and all over the globe right here to Kansas City. For business and local leaders, this is an opportunity to show off Kansas City as a premier place to live, work, and play. That's why each of the professional sports teams in Kansas City has committed to supporting this project. I recently spoke to a group of civic leaders, and I told them that we are in a championship era here in Kansas City. It started with Sporting Kansas City winning the MLS Cup in 2013. It continued with the Royals' trips to the World Series in 2014 and 15, and now the Chiefs are proud to carry the torch with 2 Super Bowl victories in the last 4 years. Each of these teams, along with our partners at the Kansas City Current, are proud to financially support this effort, and each is committed to helping create a world-class experience for the world's biggest sporting tournament. None of this would be possible without the fantastic work of the Kansas City Sports Commission and all those involved in the bid process. In particular, I want to recognize Kathy Nelson and Catherine Holland, who have been instrumental in Kansas City's efforts to host games. I also want to thank Governor Parson and Governor Kelly for their leadership, as well as the all-star group of local leaders who are here today and who do so much in our community. This is going to be a big team effort. We're lucky to have such a talented group of civic and community leaders as part of the host committee. And we're looking forward to working together to showcase Kansas City on the international stage. As we prepare to host the FIFA World Cup here in this building, I can't help but think about my dad. He was dreaming of this as far back as 1966. Not long after he brought the Chiefs to Kansas City, my dad watched his first World Cup final. He was captivated by the passion of the fans and the beauty of the game, and that proved to be what inspired him to bring professional soccer to the United States. And in 2026, 60 years after my dad first had that dream, the FIFA World Cup will be played in a stadium he once called his favorite place on earth, GEHA Field at Arrowhead. My family and I are thrilled to be part of this remarkable event, and we are proud to show off everything that makes Kansas City so special to sports fans all around the world. And it is now my privilege to turn the mic over to my co-chair, Cliff Illig.
Good morning. Good morning. Has everybody had enough of the build-up for World Cup 2026? So, hang on, you got more to come. So, thank you, Clark. It's great to see everybody here today. I recognize a whole bunch of the faces from our series of World Cup events, announcements, presentations, and that sort of thing. And it's really a credit to everybody in this room that we're able to stand here today. You know, we all owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to the Hunt family. Lamar, Clark, Dan, the entire family. Kansas City would not be what it is today on the national sports landscape or have the global recognition that goes with great teams playing for and winning championships for our city. Also, we would not be here today without the vision and 50 years plus of investment by the Hunt family in Kansas City's development and growth of soccer, the sport. So Clark, thank you, thank your family, and for your sustained leadership and certainly your partnership in all that we do. They asked me to as we're going to spend quite a bit of time talking about where do we go from here, they asked me to spend a little bit of time covering how we got here. The process of positioning Kansas City as a host city for the 2026 FIFA World Cup has been going on for over 7 years. In April of 2017, the United States, Canada, and Mexico agreed to jointly bid to host the 2026 World Cup. In June 2018, the U.S., Canada, and Mexico were awarded the 2026 World Cup. Over the next 3 years, led by the Kansas City Sports Commission, Sporting Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the City of Kansas City, in addition to a partnership with many others, we prepared our bid to host World Cup 2026. In October of 2021, FIFA, CONCACAF, and U.S. Soccer all visited Kansas City for a site visit and a final comprehensive review of the city's ability to be a host city for the world's biggest event, sporting or otherwise, viewed by billions around the globe. It was at the conclusion of this visit that Victor Montagliani, who's the president of CONCACAF, complimented our city on its World Cup 2026 proposal and presentation by saying, "The beauty of football is that it's not about your size, it's about the size of your heart." On June 16th last year, FIFA announced that Kansas City would be one of 11 cities to host the World Cup in 2026. FIFA selected 3 cities on the West Coast, 3 cities on the East Coast, 2 cities in the Southeast, 2 cities in Texas, and then Kansas City in the middle to be the hub of it all. The selection of Kansas City, the 31st largest market in the U.S., was made over the very worthy proposals submitted by Denver, Nashville, Cincinnati, Orlando, and Washington, D.C. That is a tribute to the collective and highly collaborative efforts of so many in our state, county, and city governments, our region's sports community, along with the Chiefs, the Royals, the Kansas City Current, and Sporting Kansas City, and our outstanding, very outstanding regional economic development, civic, and philanthropic organizations. It's been a very large, dedicated team and a tremendous joint effort that has invested thousands and thousands of hours in all the planning, the proposals, the presentations, and the formal commitments required to produce a World Cup. Many have asked, why has Kansas City been successful up against all these other really great cities with our bid? Was it our brand new airport? Was it Arrowhead as one of the greatest sports venues in the country? Was it our region's reputation as the soccer capital of America? Was it our region's lifestyle, our Midwest hospitality assets? Or was it our legacy of American sports excellence and performance demonstrated by the Chiefs, the Royals, Sporting Kansas City, and KU basketball, who have all won their sports championships over the past decade? Or is it because we host great, highly visible, highly successful sporting events in Kansas City, such as the World Series, 5 AFC championship games, Major League Baseball's All-Star Game, MLS Cup, internationally recognized soccer watch parties at Power and Light, many, many Big 12 tournaments, and just a couple of weeks ago, the 2023 NFL Draft? I think we can argue that all of these factors have contributed to Kansas City's formidable standing and reputation as one of America's great sports cities, and collectively positions us exceptionally well to host an outstanding World Cup in 2026. This all works because of the substantial commitment of time, talent, and resources across our entire region. It is the collaboration of dozens of partner organizations working together that will propel us to success as a World Cup host city. This all works, frankly, because of you. We have a tremendous amount of work ahead to build, execute our statement to the world as a great World Cup city. The investments we make over the next 3 years will shape the future of our region for decades to come. So with that, please join me in welcoming Kathy Nelson, CEO of the Sports Commission here in Kansas City, as well as Visit KC, to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. As Cliff shared, my name is Kathy Nelson. I serve as President and CEO for both the Kansas City Sports Commission and Visit KC. And first, I do want to thank Mayor Lucas. Phone calls nightly, weekends, mornings. Thank you so much. And of course, to both Clark and Cliff, thank you both for the past years of work that have gone into this. Their support and guidance, of course, have been critical to all that we've done to get here today. You know, it has been a multi-year bid process. There's no doubt. Looking around the room, I think if all of you really truly knew how all of these teams have worked together for hours and hours every week on top of our other jobs, I think you would be blown away and surprised and so proud of how our community has worked together and how it has united our region to get us here today. I also want to recognize Catherine Holland here in the front row with us, as Catherine has served as our bid director. Catherine played a crucial role in showing FIFA and the world that we are truly ready for the international spotlight. And her ongoing work these past 10 months, which is all she has been doing 7 days a week, is a testament to her community and to the project and to Kansas City. So thank you. So as you've no doubt seen this morning, we've unveiled the new city branding for the 2026 World Cup, which is specific to Kansas City, and there are activations across the community right now. So thank you to the KC Streetcar, thank you to George at Union Station, and thank you, of course, to Parks and Rec in the city. You'll see lots of these painted green spaces around our city, so please take pictures, post on social, and let's show the world that we're ready to welcome them in 2026. So now I have the honor of formally announcing the entity that will lead World Cup efforts going forward, KC 2026. This nonprofit organization will oversee the strategy and the deliverables for FIFA World Cup in 2026. KC 2026 is comprised of a board of directors, 5 of whom will serve as officers of the executive committee. Karen Daniel will serve as president. Neil Sharma and Jake Reed will serve as vice presidents. I have the honor of serving as secretary, and Esther George will serve as treasurer. In addition to the committee, there are 12 at-large members whose names you can see on the screen behind me. These individuals represent our elected officials, professional sports teams, civic organizations, and local businesses. Together, this group is responsible for overseeing KC 2026 and ensuring Kansas City's success as a World Cup host city. But please know, these names are just not it. A lot of you, if not all of you in the room, will be called upon to help us serve as we move forward. Finally, I want to take a moment to introduce KC 2026 Board President and our next speaker, Karen Daniel. Karen has been a decades-long business and civic leader for our region. Following her career as the Executive Director, Chief Financial Officer, and President of the Global Finance and Technology Solutions Division of Black & Veatch, Karen continues to make an impact on Kansas City. I have no doubt that she is the right person to lead our efforts moving forward, so please welcome Karen Daniel.
Good morning. Thank you, Kathy, for that introduction, and thanks again to all of you who are in the room today. This is really an amazing day and an incredible opportunity for our city, and I am honored to be able to be part of this and serve on the KC 2026 board and to really get us ready for the 3 short years that we have to host the FIFA. So I am born and raised in Kansas City with a family of public servants and educators and community leaders. And so I hope as I make my way through this journey, I continue to live in that legacy of the family that we have. I didn't play sports per se, I can't say that, but I am certainly a fan. And all of us here today should have, this opportunity to sit in this great moment of pride, because all that has been done heretofore to get us here This is our launching pad. Second, obviously the bid process was very instrumental. But I have had an opportunity to work on some global projects in my time at Black & Veatch. So I was able to see what a global operation looks like and how to be successful at it. And this is an opportunity where some of those talents and skills hopefully will come into play as we prepare for the FIFA. Now, Kansas City is, in my view, sitting in a place where we have an opportunity to be recognized on a level that so far we haven't been able to get that recognition. Not because we didn't try, but all the things that Clark and Cliff talked about, we're positioned for this at this moment in time. So we will have the opportunity to really work on this, make it a great success for our city. And, you know, we have all these folks that are committed. Kathy just went through the board. I think we have an amazing team that has come together, and we will really, really get this done well. Throughout the bid process, it was clear to all of us that this was the ideal place to host FIFA. And in doing that, we also knew that we needed an organization that would support this effort and get it done in the fashion we all expect to get it done. So I want to say first, thanks to everyone on the board, thanks for everyone who came out today, and that also all that effort that we're going to put in will put Kansas City on the map around sports, business, and a talent destination for us. This will last for a very long time. As we go through this endeavor, Kathy mentioned the various civic leaders that are included, and on the board, we are working toward basically 5 objectives. We are working on the fact that, well, we have to be the primary connection to FIFA. We have to deliver on our contract responsibilities to FIFA. And then we also have the responsibility to identify and secure funds for this activity, and at the same time, engage the community, which is part of my favorite thing. I love working on community projects and engaging in that effort. Then I'd like to say that both of us, both states, are going to create a meaningful amount of contribution to this and engagement. And our last one is pursuing legacy investments and opportunities that will allow Kansas City to grow even further. So those are the 5 things that we'll be working on. In this time, we all are committed. We all have an opportunity. Kansas City, the region, there are 2.5 million people who can help make this a successful project. And I'm certain everybody's signing up for that. Say yes. Say yes. So alongside our many partners in the region, we are moving intentionally and with great focus to bring to fruition an event that will shape our community's future for generations to come. This is a big deal and will have a very lasting impact on our community. So now I would like to invite Frank White, our Jackson County executive, to the stage. We all know Frank as an amazing baseball player and now an amazing executive for Jackson County.
Thank you, Karen. Mr. Mayor, my Spanish that I learned was I could eat and get paid. All the other Spanish I learned from players is not right for this audience. But thank you again, Karen. And, I just want to welcome everyone here today to Jackson County's Truman Sports Complex. And when I stand here before you today, not just as a county executive, but as a proud resident of Jackson County itself. And almost a year ago, when we got the news that Kansas City was going to be a host city for the World Cup, I just think back to that day at Power and Light when all the excitement of the crowd, it was so loud you couldn't hardly hear yourself, and just seeing the faces of the folks, and just knowing that we were stepping out on a stage that we've never been on before, and it's a world stage, and I think these are the things that we continue to think about on a daily basis. And when I think about that day, it was so much excitement you couldn't help but get chills from the crowd and how excited they were. Yeah, when I think back to 1972, and I worked across the street I was doing construction across the street on Kaufman Stadium, Royal Stadium then, when Arrowhead opened in '72. And who would have imagined that this would be Arrowhead's destiny, to be able to showcase the world on a world stage when the World Cup comes itself. But Arrowhead has hosted some of the greatest artists of our time, U2, Rolling Stones, Garth Brooks. And also, and we're getting ready for, guess who? Taylor Swift and Beyonce. So it's also hosted some of the greatest athletes to ever play the game. Guys like Len Dawson, Joe Montana. We look at Derek Thomas and Patrick Mahomes, and my all-time favorite, Otis Taylor. So, but hosting the World Cup is really a testament to our community. It's a testament to our pride. And just in 3 short years, as Karen was saying, just 3 short years, Arrowhead Stadium, the loudest stadium in the world, will be packed with tens of thousands of fans from around the globe. That is what is exciting about this whole process. And let's not forget that all of these amenities that they will be able to take advantage of and enjoy would not be possible had it not been for the taxpayers of Jackson County. So Jackson County taxpayers, this is your achievement. And as we look, thank you. So as we look forward to 2026, we will work alongside our partners to ensure that when the world turns the lights on and the eyes are all on Jackson County, they'll see us in our very best light. So I want to thank each of you for being a part of this journey. And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce a colleague, a friend, a fellow Missourian, Governor Mike Parson.
Well, good morning, everyone. What an exciting day to be in Kansas City. It's a good day for me to be in Kansas City, trust me. It's been a little bit of a rough week, to say that. But to be here today, to see all of you here, to see the coverage that the World Cup is getting is just second to none. And I realize how important this day is coming our way. You heard some of the speakers reference up here that, 3 years is not very long. And I was talking to Clark backstage a little bit, and he was talking about it's kind of like trying to get on a treadmill, and you finally get on it, and we're on it right now, and that's how you finish. I said, no, Clark, really it's not. You're on the clock right now. You're on the clock. So it's a matter of us getting this to this day to come for Kansas City. I want to thank, first of all, Mayor, it's always great to be in Kansas City. Appreciate you, your hospitality. Good to have my fellow governor from Kansas here, to be here. All the dignitaries here, Clark, you and your family, Frank, and then Kathy, as I go down the list, and I'll miss somebody. But I tell you, I've had so much great fortune as governor to have some experiences I never dreamed of in Kansas City. I never dreamed I would be in a parade with 1 million people celebrating a Super Bowl. And everybody's wondering, how are we going to pull that off? How's that going to work? And as far as I know, everything went perfectly, other than the one guy that fell out of the tree when I went by. That's the only thing I've seen, but I think a lot of that was self-inflicted on that day. We just did the NFL draft. Nobody's thinking you're going to have an NFL draft. Never ever believed most of us would ever be there to see that. But the point I make out of both of them events, Kansas City come together like no other. The city did. The organizations did. And pulled off 2 of the largest events that I know of in my lifetime to be able to do that. Not to mention winning 2 Super Bowls and what that means. But now you've done all those things so well, Kathy. Now you've got to get to a bigger stage. And we've got to do more. And we're going to showcase Missouri like it's never been shown before, and we're going to showcase Kansas City. As I travel, I've been to Israel, to Greece, to the UK, to Germany, to Sweden, to the Netherlands. And as I talk about Missouri, I will guarantee you the conversation is going to come up about the World Cup in 2026. It's one of the biggest selling points we are using now to try to promote Missouri and Kansas City. And when you think of everything going on around here, how proud I am to be able to have that opportunity to do that. So it's an exciting time. And 3 years, believe it or not, if you look back on all the things you did in the world in your lifetime, they go by in a blink of an eye. So you got a lot of work to do. And you got to have a lot of partners. And I want you to know that Missouri is going to be a partner. You got a lot of legislators here today. I've seen them in here. So first of all, I got to thank them, because I think they put a little something in the budget this year for that. So you owe them all a very, very good round of applause for what they did. And John Rizzo, a good friend of mine, to be on the commission. We're honored to have you in that position representing us on there. We look forward to that. So they've did their part. And now I'm going to ask everybody else to do their part. And I'm not even here to try to get you to open up your checkbooks and make all these commitments. I would say Clark and Cliff will before it's over. But I would tell you this. We're going to help by our commitment. You're one signature away. One signature away. And I've got on pretty good authority, you're in really good shape for that, for us to be able to present you $50 million to help with the World Cup. Now, Governor Kelly, out of due respect, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on you. But game on is all I got to say. All right, this is us doing it together on that. So I want to thank everybody. Thanks for allowing me to be up here today. Thanks for hosting the World Cup. Clark said something up here that I thought about when he said there was 28 other cities out there, bigger cities. That may be so in population. But there's one thing I know about Kansas City. Nobody has a bigger heart than Kansas City, Missouri, and what we're about to undertake to be world-class soccer from the world, and we will be center stage, and I guarantee you, we will not leave anything on the table to make this the best event the world has ever seen. Thank you for having me here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Parsons. Who's that signature? Do we need to, do we need to call him? Or thank you, seriously. I'm now going to introduce Governor Kelly, and this is another reflection of the collaboration across our region. And we talk about Kansas City, but Kansas City is a region, and I think it's just really remarkable the number of legislators from both sides of the state line, the number of business leaders who are willing to jump in and help. So, Governor Kelly, please come forward, and thank you so much for all you're doing on the Kansas side, not only for this, but all you do.
Oh, Governor. I've already signed it. So, good morning, everybody. I am truly delighted to be here at Arrowhead. I too want to thank everybody who has been instrumental in making Kansas City the host city, or one of the host cities for the 2026 World Cup. And I especially want to thank everybody on the KC 2026 team. I also want to acknowledge my Lieutenant Governor, who couldn't be with us today, David Toland. He also moonlights as our Secretary of Commerce. But David played an incredibly pivotal role in securing this bid. This was a bi-state effort, and I couldn't be prouder that the KC Metro region has been selected alongside an elite group of cities in North America to host what will be the largest World Cup ever. I know Governor Parson, Mayor Lucas, Mayor Gardner, here, and I are looking forward to working with FIFA and U.S. Soccer and our sister host cities across the country to make it the best World Cup ever. This is an exciting time to be a sports fan in Kansas City. In case anyone needs reminding, which they've already had, we're here at the home of our very own Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. And we did just host the NFL Draft. And if anybody has a direct line to Patrick Mahomes, would you tell him that I do not appreciate the fact that the governor of Kentucky has shaken his hand and I have not? So, and I want to, and thanks in large part to Sporting Kansas City and its work to unite fans across state lines. This region is the soccer capital of the United States. So when the World Cup returns to the United States in 2026, for only the second time in its nearly 100-year history, it makes perfect sense that part of the tournament will be held right here. We are in the heart of the United States, both geographically and culturally, and people from all over the world will soon discover all that this bi-state region has to offer. Hosting what is projected to be the most watched sporting event in history right in our own backyard will give us an opportunity to showcase the greater Kansas City community to a global audience. The 2026 World Cup and the dozens of events and activities in the weeks leading up to it will boost tourism and have huge economic benefits for the Kansas City metro region, to the tune of $620 million, according to some studies. We're prepared to take advantage of this opportunity. We're investing in Children's Mercy Park. The downtown Kansas City area is in the middle of a multi-billion-dollar transformation with plenty of entertainment and dining options to choose from. And the Kansas side is decorated with orange cones as we continue to invest in infrastructures to ensure smooth travels for local and visiting fans. 2026 feels like a long way away, but it will be here way before we know it. I'm delighted that we're assembling a great team to coordinate our planning efforts over the next 3 years. So congratulations to the new board of directors. Senator Dinah Sykes from Lenexa will be representing the Kansas side. I look forward to joining your efforts to get Kansas City ready for its big moment on the world stage. And I think with that, Mayor, I'm going to hand it over to you.
So you've heard a lot today. Governor Parson and the Missouri legislature have agreed to contribute $50 million. So on the way out, if anybody has an extra $50 million, we will take it all from you. No, I'm kidding. More than anything, we say thank you to everybody who has been part of this and everyone who will be part of this outstanding effort. This is a great time and a great moment for Kansas City. You heard a lot of different stories, and I think Karen hit it best as a child of Kansas City. I, too, am a child of Kansas City. Grew up following these teams, going to all of the sites, seeing great people play games like Frank White and so many others. And we are excited to build more memories. So with the thanks of all of you here, folks from Independence, Lenexa, Kansas City, Overland Park, everywhere in our region, we are thrilled to have the 2026 World Cup here. We are off to the races, and more than anything, when we call, as Kathy will do a time or two between now and 2026, make sure you answer. We look forward to having the entire region, all of our cultures, every spot represented, and we thank you all for being part of KC 2026. We are Kansas City, and we look forward to hosting an exceptional 2026 FIFA World Cup. Thank you all so much for being here.